So for all you self-absorbed folks out there that can't look past your own self, all right, to appreciate what other people are doing.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, though. Yeah, from Uncle Lou. Happy Thanksgiving from Uncle Lou to all you college football fans out there. I'm extremely thankful for all of you that, for whatever reason, have taken upon yourselves to watch this channel. I'm very thankful for all of you. You know what Nick Saban is thankful for this holiday season? Close wins over mediocre to bad teams. And he wants you, Gump man, he wants you, Bama fans, to be thankful for that too. That's right. He wants you to be thankful for a 6-point win over the worst LSU team this century. Thankful for those 6 yards rushing that you got in that game. Be thankful for that. So says Lord Saban. Be thankful for that 2-point win over Florida. Look, there's no shame in beating Florida by 2, right? Be thankful that you survived that onside kick against Arkansas at the end of the game to hang on to beat the Swine by 7 points. Be thankful for that. Be thankful for that loss at Texas A&M. Be thankful. So says Nick Saban. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this clip by now that I'm talking about here, but Nick Saban does some kind of a call-in TV show or something in Alabama, I guess. And he does it with the radio announce guy and some other guy. And anyway, they take phone calls from fans. I guess he does this once a week. Well, some gump called in and asked Nick Saban, about the close wins and why they're not blowing teams out. And Nick Saban just absolutely lost his mind. He went absolutely nuts. Yelled at the Alabama fans for like 6 minutes. He went on like a 6 or 7 minute tirade, basically taking Alabama fans, bending them over his knee, and spanking their little bottom blue. It's hilarious. Nick Saban is probably the only coach that can get away with doing stuff like that. He's done this before. Yelled at his own fan base. I remember he yelled at his own fan base a couple of years ago. I forget who they were playing. It was somebody like New Mexico State, though, that like they played a couple of weeks ago, and they beat these teams 50 and 60 to nothing. It's 30 and 40 to nothing at halftime, right? And it was one of those type of games. And basically, the fans left at halftime. It was a noon game. The fans showed up late to the game. It was, Bama was winning 40 to nothing at halftime or whatever, so the fans left. Nick Saban afterwards went on this rant about how people need to stay for the whole game and basically trying to tell Alabama fans how to fan. Saban's the greatest college football coach in history. Of that, there is no doubt. But, sir, you don't get to tell people how to be a fan. You just don't. And nobody gets to tell anybody how to be a fan, not even you, Lou. How many of you, well, probably none of you, because most of you aren't even really Alabama fans. You're just bandwagoners. But y'all know Nick's real name, don't you? You know Nick Saban's real name, don't you? Yeah, it's Lou. Of course it's Lou. So Lou Saban. But anyway, you should find this clip. It's really easy to find. It's all over the place. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, you've probably already seen it. If you go to YouTube and type in Nick Saban rant, it'll probably come up. But so the guy called him, asked about blowing. He goes, a win is a win. LSU, they're trying to win the game too, just like we are. They've got scholarship players just like we do. We know all that. He basically, you know what he did? You know how Ohio State fans running around trying to convince everybody that Nebraska is good? That's what Nick Saban was doing with LSU. Basically, LSU, pretty good team. Because the caller had pointed out that they had lost 2 games in a row, and Nick Saban's like, you act like the fact that they lost 2 games in a row means they're not any good. It's the exact opposite. That's what Nick Saban, that's what Saban said. I didn't really understand what he's saying there. You act like because they lost 2 games in a row, they're not any good. Actually, the opposite is true. And I'm like, huh? What? No, they're not any good, Lou. They're not. Lou Saban, they're not any good. It's just funny. Nick, sometimes I think Nick Saban's favorite thing to do is yell at his own fans. And look, I get it. I've been yelling at Alabama fans for 6 years. They're some of the dumbest people on the planet. But it appears as though Nick Saban has finally had enough of the Gump tards. That's what it appears to me. I don't know. He's got no patience with them anymore. And you know what? Here's the thing. I don't understand Saban in particular, Saban especially, but any coach really that would go off on a rant like that, basically saying, I don't know, we're winning, who cares if we win by 1 or 100? Why are you criticized? Blah, 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 blah. Have you ever seen a Nick Saban post-game press conference after a win? All he does is criticize the team. Nick Saban can go out and beat somebody 50-0, and in the post-game press conference, he's like, well, we need to improve on this. We need to improve on that. We need to do this better. We got to cut this out. We got to stop doing that. What's the difference? What's the difference? The difference is Saban, I don't know if Saban's tired of being there. I don't know if he's getting towards the end of the road, toward the end of the run here or what, but, oh my God, why didn't you blow out LSU? And then Lou Saban has to go on this 8-minute rant. I mean, it was just, it was strange. It's like taking Alabama fans and putting them in timeout. He's taking his own fan base and putting them in the corner, which is hilarious. Again, it's hilarious that he did it. And like I said, he's probably the only head coach that could get away with something like that. But because he's just got the credibility built up to do it. But I don't know. I really don't think a coach should be running around telling his fan base how to fan. Fans have a right to fan any way they want to. If a fan wants to show up to a game 5 minutes late, he can show up to a game 5 minutes late. If you're playing the Helen Keller School of the Burp and you're beating them 50-0 at halftime and the fan wants to leave at halftime, the fan can leave at halftime. If a fan wants to be critical of a 6-point loss to a horrendous LSU team where you gained 6 yards rushing for the entirety of the game, the fan can do that. Lou Saban. Anyway, shout out to all my fellow slob Olympians. This is our day. This is our day. Eat your body weight in turkey.